everybody, and welcome back to episode 9 of my Park Project series. So we are building our Disney park. Disney Heritage is what I'm actually calling it at this moment, and we will kind of see if that changes later, but I'm kind of stuck on the name for now. So yeah, episode 9, and this episode we kind of do a whole lot, and then it doesn't really go anywhere, which you'll see in the next episode. But what we do get done is actually the layout of our Liberty Square and how the streets and our little center park and everything is going to go. We do get that much done. One thing you're looking at right now is I went ahead and I've been kind of stuck for a little while. I could not figure out what I wanted to do with these streets. I couldn't figure out the pattern I wanted to use. And then I saw this picture of Disney Hong Kong, and it was just a simple picture of Main Street, and it had just rained, and I could see the street there, you know, with the colored bricks, and the path, and like the sidewalks was wet, and it was just a beautiful shot. And I was like, that is what I want. So I could not figure out a way to do it any other way except creating my own custom scenery. So I went into SketchUp, loaded up went into Google, found some brick patterns, made my own brick pattern, and sat down and I created what you're seeing, you know, basically right now, the actual brick path. This looks pretty good. I was pretty happy with it, the way it turned out and everything, except for one thing. It doesn't fit this area at all. Once I get done with it, you will see what I mean. I mean, it is pretty, yeah. I could see maybe using it somewhere else in the park, but the whole idea of the entrance square of this park is colonial, kind of history of America type thing. It's Liberty Square. That's what I want to do. And these street paths just don't fit. They just really don't. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. I may still use this somewhere else. For what I am doing right now, though, as you can see, is I'm just getting the layout done. So I decided to go with CTR's Pass 1 to get the sidewalk and kind of the layout done. We're using Moby's concrete for the actual sidewalks themselves, and my custom scenery for the streets, which will change later. Right up the middle of the street, you can see we've done our trolley tracks. That is courtesy of, you know, I can't remember who done it. I will have to figure that out later. I'm sorry, I don't know. I know it was done for Revolutionary Rides. You can find it on Shy Guys World in the CS Depot. Just search for trolley. It'll come up. Maybe it's tram, one or the other. So I tried a couple of different things here for the middle, and I was pretty happy with what we got done here, which it's almost kind of a flowery kind of look is what it almost turned into. I just wanted to do a gazebo right in the middle of it, so we got the gazebo from Fantasia's Gardens. I can't remember who did that, but it's a pretty nice little gazebo, I think. It's not too large. I may change that later, but I think it looks pretty good, just the size of it and everything for now. The only thing we're missing right now, I should also probably go into this. I did end up I had made some other videos where we worked on the fire station, which you can see on the right side of the street there. You'll see it kind of pop up every now and then. I had videos for it where we were building it, but in the process over the last couple of weeks, since I'm sorry I haven't done any more videos, I actually lost that video. There was some trouble with it, and I decided, you know what, just delete it. I'll just talk about how we did it, and that'll be that. But yeah, so another thing here is I'm using Moby's again for the terrain textures as well, which you have to paint underneath of it with the terrain texture you want, and then place these down. It was the only set I could find to go over my own street paths and this paths that I'm using, the brick kind of texture there for our center garden. That's the only thing that goes over it. None of the others. Dutchers I tried. No, wait, well, not Dutchers. Flying Dutchmans. Yeah, I think it's Flying Dutchmans. Maybe, I can't remember. Bryanters. None of those cover those. So the only ones that would work was Moby's. But that's okay, because, I mean, I got it to work. It took a little bit of kind of creativity to kind of get it to cover some of the areas there was CTR Pass 1, but it all worked out in the end. So yeah, this is just pretty much what's going on right now. It's just the middle square. There's not a whole lot to talk about in this video. I'm still missing one more building on the left side of the street, and at this point in time when I'm doing this video, when I was making this video, I hadn't figured out what I was going to do there yet. It was completely up in the air. I didn't have a clue. I knew I kind of wanted to do something like a rotunda type building, because I mean all the other buildings have like these towers and stuff on them, but Colonial, when I think of Colonial and Senate things and Congress and stuff like that in America, I think of like the White House. I think of, courthouses. Washington, D.C., they have these rotundas. So I was like, I want to do something with that. I just don't know what yet. So I'm still thinking, at the time of this video, I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do over on that other side of the street. So we got, basically you walk in, you come into the park under the Grand Station, and then you have right into our middle park area here, and on each side of the street you got our version, a replica of Independence Hall. On the left you've got the bank area where you have your lockers, and you can do currency exchange there, ATM machines, all that's going to be in that kind of building there. On the right side of the street you got the City Hall, Lost and Found is in there, etc. There's things like guest services is going to be in City Hall. Then you got the fire station. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose. One thing I'm missing though, someone had said it exists. I have been looking forever. I can't find it. I would love to find a fire truck. Like an old-fashioned, like the Disney 1920s, 1930s, 40s kind of old-fashioned fire truck. And it doesn't seem to exist that I can find, but someone said it does, and I just haven't been able to find it yet. Now on the Grand Central Station, I also come up with another idea on how to do the actual, we're going to call them the handicap kind of ramps up to the station. And I kind of figured out a new way to do that, which I was pretty happy with, and that will lead into some gardening and stuff on the sides there as well. And speaking of gardening, I had placed a few trees there. Can't remember what I said. Oh, yeah, I think it was Old Spice's trees. Yeah, I think it's Old Spice's trees I used there. They looked pretty nice, so yeah. Again, I just don't have a whole lot to talk about in this video. It's a short video. I can say that I apologize for not doing as many videos here lately. I have been building quite a bit, and I have a backlog of probably 4 videos that I will be doing here in the next few days, as soon as I get a chance to render them all and then do the voiceovers on them. And the other videos after this one, this one is just kind of a layout kind of thing. You can kind of see how my way of thinking, my way of design process goes in there. I build a lot, I take away a lot, I change a lot of stuff, but in the end, I'm, like I've always said, I'm somewhat of a slight perfectionist. I wouldn't say I'm a complete perfectionist, because I build things and they may not be perfect, and finally I'll get to a point where I'll be like, that's just perfect enough. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. So something else I'm trying to figure out too is I had to use these fences here, and I wasn't happy with the fences that I use in the center area. They don't show up well enough, so I'm looking for something else I can use there. Another thing I wanted to do here, which is what we're just now starting on that you're watching right now, is the trolley station. I guess it's not really a trolley station, it's more of a kind of waiting area. I wanted to do something kind of like a double kind of loading station there, where the trolleys come in on each side of it, because we're going to have 2 trolleys. We're going to have one that runs into the Chicago style area, like the New York part of our Manhattan looking area, and then we got the one that goes to the California area, and each of those will be kind of on each side of that. You can tell which trolley is which by how they do the colors. Probably what I'm going to do there. So I wanted to do something like a little colonial type, just a waiting area where you can sit on a bench, wait for the trolleys, stand there, whatever. And I did kind of a similar trick that I did with the Central Garden area. I used these path covers, these brick paths from, I want to say it's K2, KC something. I cannot remember what they were, but they're really nice. I saw these in Estan Wolf's water park that he's doing, and nobody knew what set they were in. They're kind of one of these unknown sets, but he had them. So since nobody else knew, I was just like, hey, Estan, what is this path cover? So he told me, and as soon as I found out, I immediately downloaded them, and I started playing around with them, and I had some ideas to use them for the street pass, but it didn't go with that route. Now, these are, I want to also thank Blackout and Poppet. They had some great ideas for this little trolley waiting area here, and that was to use these brick kind of posts. We'll call them brick posts. And that was a brilliant idea that works really good. It really fits into the remaining amount of the area. Um, and then I just had to figure out the little details there. And also, the benches, because I wanted the Disney style benches. I didn't just want to place chairs there. I wanted like a Disney fancy kind of wooden bench with some nice ironwork on the side of it. And I knew that these things existed, and I thought I had them, but apparently I did not. I was thinking, oh, there's Voden's set. So I looked forever for Voden's benches, and apparently I had not downloaded them yet. So in this video, I don't actually place those. I use a different set, which didn't really work out too well. But hey, I did end up downloading them, so I will place them like the first of the next video that you'll see. And they're so much better than the ones I had. It amounts for more people actually being able to sit there too, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I just kind of played around with this for a little while, and until I got this, and then we did some a little bit of greenery, a little bit of foliage on each side of it, and all in all, yeah, I think this come out really, really well. Except, by the end of this, when I was done, I just still was not happy with those streets. In the end, I'm like, they just do not match this area. They do not fit in. They're way too colorful for everything else, and this just wasn't going to fit. So I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out something else. And the next video you'll see, I completely changed this out, but it's for the better. And one thing you'll notice about me is I change a lot of stuff. I'm always changing these things until I just get it to a point where yes, that's what I wanted. Or at least what I can work with. We'll put it that way. So yeah, that will do it for this video. Everybody, make sure you watch my Twitch channel, because that's where you're going to see my live streams at, where I'm building and stuff. I will be on most days, as long as I'm not working overtime, until about, usually I kind of start around noon and end about 2 o'clock. You can also like my page here. So follow me on Twitch, follow me here on YouTube, and that will be it for the day. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks.